What's up, everybody? It's Jacob coming to you live from an undisclosed location near the Rocky Mountains in Denver, Colorado. Thanks for coming out on a Saturday night. Welcome to a series of live streams I've been doing, kind of the not just the Halloween theme, but if you're a Gen Xer, you're probably picking up on the Evil Dead influences in the poster. But I've been playing around with some new techniques to generate video thumbnails and these community posts. And I was thinking of maybe just doing like a little segment on a live stream here in the future to show you how I'm making these. Because unlike a lot of these thumbnails and images you're seeing, they're actually not just one image. I'm actually layering multiple AI generated elements together to get the color, the layout, and everything. So it's a little more advanced, but I find I get a lot more control, and I think like much more cinematic look to it. But anyway, yeah. So welcome. Thanks for coming out to AI Dead 2, which last week was The AI Dead, which is the first Evil Dead movie. And in case you missed it, last week's video was on AI in journalism. And of course, there's the play on They Live. And next week, I'm doing a video on AI in the Supreme Court system. Not at the like super high federal level, but more like the state Supreme Court in Arizona. They're doing some things with AI that are opening the door to things. You know, it looks innocuous and it looks cute now, but there's some things that I bring up. So we'll be doing that one next Wednesday, I believe. In fact, what I'll do is I'll give you a sneak peek here of the thumbnail. So let me see if I can pull that up real quick here. But if you could do me a favor, put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me, just so I can make sure my levels are good and I'm not talking into the mute button here, because I have been known to do that sometimes. Here we go. Content live. Yeah, this may not show up as high fidelity, but let's try this. See what all you can see here. Yeah, here we go. So it's AI in the courts, and it's going to be titled "AI Now Speaks for the State," and that's not a lie. That's literally what the AI is going to be doing. So I'll get into more information on Wednesday, and I'm experimenting a little bit with making my video releases premieres now. So I'm there if you want to chat when I release them. But I'm still kind of getting into my new part-time job, hustle and bustle, and trying to balance my time with the video creation and the live streams. Live streams are okay because I just weekend, Saturday is not a big deal. But making the videos during the week, I've been batch processing videos. Recording 2-3 at a time, and then editing them as I want to release them. So I'm finding that's working for me. But in order for me to do that, I have to do it in the evening. So I've been launching my weekly video around 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Denver time. So that's like 2 to 3 hours later than now, wherever you are. But anyway, yeah, thanks for coming out, everybody. Oh, hey, Adrian. Thanks for the 1. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming out. Also, if you are not a subscriber and you want to interact with my AI characters, I usually pull them up, in a break during the live stream. I haven't been doing them the last couple of live streams for whatever reason. I just haven't been thinking about it. But if you want to, I have 2 AI characters at the moment. I'm working on some more. I have the 8-Ball Oracle, and you do need to be a subscriber in order to put the command below here. The !8ball, a command followed by your question in the live chat. It takes about 20 minutes to be allowed to talk in the live chat once you subscribe. But also too, I just want to do the obligatory request that don't put any quotes in your question, because the software is a little buggy. AIs don't like it for some reason. I have been trying to fix it. So I think maybe where I'm trying to fix it's the wrong part of the chain or the process in the software. So I will figure that out. Then also we have Hail, the Hail 9000, which is really popular amongst my live stream viewers. And the command is right down there, bang H9, space followed by a question. And the only other thing that I ask is you keep it PG-13 because the children's, right? So I only give one warning. That's the warning now. And I will boot if any lines are crossed, so to speak. So anyway, let's get to the fun part. Let's start looking at some videos here. I pulled a lot of things have been going on in the world of AI. A lot of big things happened in the last few weeks that I haven't really talked about. There's more talk about super intelligence. It was like really hot about 6 months ago. And then 3 months ago, it was like, oh no, AGI, artificial general intelligence, we're not going to get that because, the technology we have now, ChatGPT, LLMs, there's no way we can get that working with the, AGI to manifest on the current technology, just kind of based on the way it works and some scaling limitations and some other things. I don't know all the technology, but this has kind of been, that was the consensus, is like, oh, not with LLMs. And now we're starting to see people are freaking out over ASI, artificial super intelligence, which is the next level above AGI. And we had a bunch of celebrities and big thinkers get together and sign some big piece of paper saying, hey, don't do it. Don't build the thing. But you know what? Cat's already out of the bag. It's kind of like when the Nazis, they were at the end of World War II, at the end of World War II, when we finally, landed in Normandy and swept across Europe. And by the time we got into Germany, forgot what that castle was that they were in there. They actually had already figured out heavy water, and they were enriching, was it plutonium? I think it was. I think that's not uranium, it's plutonium. Not a scientist, but anyway, jaws dropped because they were like, they're basically like where we are right now, which is not too far away from testing, because it wasn't very shortly after where we were doing stuff at Trinity, testing the atomic bomb. So kind of scary. So the point I'm getting at here is cat's already out of the bag. LLMs have been made. They're out in the world. And somebody's going to figure it out. And if we don't figure it out and get our stamp on it and put our, ideas of freedom and morality and ethics in the West on artificial superintelligence, or let alone AGI, somebody else with less scruples is kind of the argument there. So that it's the new arms race. And I'm going to show you another video later on because it's not just the software. It's not just the brain of AI. It's also the hardware that AI runs on, the chips more specifically. And I've talked about this off and on about how, the regular consensus is that China's about 6 months behind where we are in the States with our ability to do AI at scale, basically, not necessarily with hardware, but just, the software part. I've also talked a lot about China doing IP theft and other things, but actually this week, excuse me, pardon me, this week, there was a new breakthrough in chip technology that China announced, and it is, it's not a new technology. It's actually a very old version of chip design and computing that actually can go far back, depending on how you look at it, as far back as the 1880s. And you're like, what? How are they making chips on technology based on the 1880s? So I'm going to show you that video. And it is a little technical, but I'm going to show you a trick that we can do with AI to make the video accessible to, smaller brains like you and me. So, and also for good reason, because I want to incorporate more, using more AI in the live streams. I kind of got away from that. And some more robots, some more advancements in robotics. Something that I've been noticing in the last couple of months that a year ago, I wouldn't have believed. And what I've been seeing is massive advancements in physical AI, which is robotics, right? Automation, robotics, And I thought, the trades are pretty safe, and generally they are. But I'm starting to see some other variations of robots, not like humanoid robots, but just more like, straight up machine, box roving on a surface doing something. It's seeing a lot of that. And so I have a couple new robots that I want to show you that definitely are going to reduce some positions in the trades. And one of them is not necessarily an entry level position. All right. But so that's kind of my general idea. So let me pull up another one here. We had a submission from a viewer that I wanted to go over. Excuse me. I put cream in my coffee earlier today, and I'm bubbling. I don't think it was good. So I don't know. I may have to get up and run out of here at a moment's notice, but we'll work with it. All right. So let me pull up what I got here. Yes. So there was a Fox Business report called "Robots Are Revolutionizing a New Industry Every Month." So this is kind of a puff piece, and it's a little promotional, and they're trying, and it's pushing Unitree, which is a Chinese made robot. That's a competitor to Tesla's Atlas robot and Figure 3, which is Figure AI, owned by ChatGPT or OpenAI, which also makes ChatGPT. So something, maybe some dots that I haven't connected for you before, but I've mentioned in passing, you'll notice robot companies are also being funded by companies that make these chatbots. So you have Grok, which is Tesla's chatbot, and then they have their Atlas robot. And then we have OpenAI, which has ChatGPT, and then their robot company, Figure 3. Unitree, not so sure there, but in the States, that seems to be the pattern. And there's good reason for that, because the same technology that is used to make the generative AI ChatGPT, or GPTs, generally what they're called, generative AIs, they're multimodal, which means they can do text, they can generate images, they can also analyze images, and to a degree video, depending on how you expand the software, and they tweak those brains and put them in the robots. And this is why we're seeing the major advancements in robotics we've been seeing the last year and a half, is mainly due to throwing generative AI GPTs or LLMs inside the brains of the robots. All right, so let's pull up this Fox News report, and this one's a softball, so we'll start light and we'll get progressively a little more deeper, not technical, but a little more, I don't want to say menacing, but maybe like, oh yeah, there goes a job. All right, so here we go. Fox News report on robots are revolutionizing a new industry every month, which was submitted by Rusty Rivers, our channel moderator. So here we go. Town Hall.
All right. So coming into the year, all the hype, right? 2025, the year of the humanoid robot. Now, of course, they're not on every street corner yet, but they are here. In fact, I want you to meet Coyd. That's right, Coyd is a Unitree G1 ultimate robot. Say hello.
Yeah, they're sending all their data to China right now, recording everybody in the audience. You lose a job. You lose a job. You lose a job. That's the new Oprah. But anyway, I'm pausing for fair use. Fair use, YouTube. I am transforming this video with my commentary. Let's continue.
Okay, along with Coyd, we got Jonathan Crane. He's the founder of Crane Shares and Robot Store CEO, Teddy Haggerty. First and foremost, Coyd, how's it going?
Pause.
Hello, Charles Payne. My name is Coyd, the Unitree G1 robot from RoboStore. I'm a next-generation humanoid platform.
They said I can ask you a lot, but since I'm a market guy, I want to kind of know the market's under a little bit of pressure here. Should I be buying the dip?
I don't give too much investment advice, but my name is Coyd, and Crane Shares as an ETF with the ticker KOID.
Oh, they just so happen to have set up an ETF for Unitree. How convenient. By the way, if you are an investor, hold on here, let me get there we go, back to the potato head. If you are an investor, I personally would never, ever, ever invest in a company based in China. And I have family history with China stealing intellectual property from a family business. Yes, there's that. But I studied trading under this salty old pit trader in Canada. And he's demonstrated time and time again that China has history of manipulating their boards, never mind the currency, but also they will just go in and, like I said, manipulate books and do different things. So, and they've been known to do rug pulls. All right. So just fair warning. Okay. And I'm not, and this is not investment advice. This is for entertainment, yada, yada, yada. Don't sue me. Fair use, YouTube. Let's continue on. Oh, hey, Lily. Thanks for coming out tonight. Let's see. We got some more folks coming in. Oh, hey, Batty Commander. Good to see you. Yep. Okay. All right. I'll comment on the chats later. Let's continue on with this fluff piece here. I think this is more of a promotional piece, but I'm going to poke some holes into some things here. So let's continue on.
All right. He sounds like a lot of my guests. I don't know. Okay. So, Teddy, let's talk about this. Koi, the robot store, how's it going? I mean, are people like buying them? Are they using them?
Oh yeah, we get inquiries every day, hundreds of people like, can this clean my toilet? To like, can this revolutionize my factory?
Yeah, and so, I mean, it's amazing. I'm reading different price ranges, like they're all over the board. Like this particular version, how much would something like that?
So this is over $60,000. This is a special education version for research and development, but the goal is to show people that they're gonna be affordable. So I think-
Yeah. They're going to be affordable after $6,000. Come on. But I think too, this model, actually all it is just like a My Buddy. If you remember that My Buddy commercial from the 80s, my buddy, I take him everywhere I go. I'm not singing again. All right. Anyway, so yeah, bad TV commercials of toys in the 80s. But I think this one's not like at the level of, say, like Figure 3 that I showed a couple weeks ago. And the Atlas A1 robot that they can actually do tasks in the house, cleaning or whatever. But anyway, $60,000, which is an important price point because if you look at other documents on the Figure 3 robot, and I believe it's the A1, there are documents that basically say, yeah, it costs similar $50,000 to $60,000 to make these other ones, but if you ask Figure AI, it's only $20,000. And so last week, I posited, I have no proof of this, but this is me. So I'm going on record right here, making I don't want to say a prediction, but a position is that the only reason why the Figure 3 and the Tesla, because I think Elon's saying they'll be $10,000 only just to be, bodacious because that's the way he is. But the reason why they can get them down so cheap is because I'm sure in the terms of service, you'll be signing away privacy and ownership of your data that they're training the robots on. So just keep that in mind. Jacob said it here first. I'm going to wait for my I told you so moment. Let's continue on. Sorry, Adrian, I didn't mean to torture you like that. Yeah, I don't know. I just, I remember seeing that doll commercial, and that was like right when I was too old to get one. But my little brother, oh man, he was begging like crazy to get that. And then the Chucky movie came out, and that killed that. That killed that right away. All right, but let's move onwards here. Back to the video. Fair use, YouTube.
I think a lot of the price ranges that we show are something that we're going to have in the future of something you can bring into your home. So I think it's just educating the market of the prices are all over the place right now, but for something like this, it's over 60 grand.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess you're getting these inquiries from all over the world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's the craziest thing anyone asked so far?
Oh man, I get the cleaning one every day. Like, can this just clean my house?
Nobody wants to clean anymore.
Yeah.
I guess you know what, I grew up with Rosie, right, on the Jetsons, so. sort of like an impetuous child.
Yeah, I think somebody's
Sit
controlling
down, Coyd,
that.
Sit down. I'm gonna put Coyd on timeout in a minute. You're on timeout. No cookies for you. So how quick now is this all going to happen, right? We've been hearing about this, for years and years. It feels like it's happening almost overnight. How fast and exponentially do you expect to see these improvements?
Well, every month we see like more developer code come out and we watch all the GitHubs. And like the amazing part is every day this is getting better. But I think every month we're finding a new just like industry that the robot's going to revolutionize that we had no idea.
Of course, with all of this, the key now is like investing, right? Yep. Jonathan, this is where you come in, Crane shares.
Look at that blow off top. Look at that. I wouldn't buy that. You're already at the top. Just based on my training, you missed it. You missed it. You need to wait for a big correction before you jump back in. But again, this is not investment advice, but whatever this was, you missed it. Okay, let's continue on.
Boy, ETF, not bad, all right? That's a pretty good debut, a pretty good run there. Let's talk about it. We've got also a list of some of the components in there. Investors want a piece of this action, there's no doubt about it. How's it been for you so far?
It's been great. We launched the first global humanoid ETF back in June. And it's really the whole ecosystem that goes into the...
Yeah, okay, that was the next thing I was going to ask. Because an ETF, exchange traded fund, that's usually a basket of things. So it's probably all their sibling companies and subsidiaries all together in one exchange traded fund, which, by the way, this is not investment advice, is another reason why I wouldn't invest in it, because it's, it's not diverse, right? Unless they're selling spoons and plates and other things, and it's broken up. But if it's all like their AI stuff, this is AI bubble to the max, right? And like you said, that chart, it was already like at the top. You missed it. Whatever it was, you missed it. Okay, continue on. Oops, my windows. Here we go.
The future of robotics.
Yeah, I think we've got some of the, we'll pull this chart up and then we'll put up another one with some of the components, because these are names we're starting to hear. These are names that are becoming household names. Some have already. I get you, NVIDIA 3 years ago, I would doubt if maybe 10% of Americans heard of it. Everyone knows it now. Tesla, MP Materials, all of a sudden.
Oh, so it's not just their company.
Some of these other names, it's.
All right, so I stand corrected. This is actually, it's got, let's see, we have Tesla, NVIDIA, or NVIDIA, if you want to nerd on me, and couple other robotics companies, and my old man eyes, I can't pick up the top and the bottom one, but still, it's all the same industry. It's still, if you want to do tech, do one that's way more diversified. You want chips, data centers, networking technology, hardware, software, operating systems. You want a way more diversified portfolio than this. That's just my personal thing. Not investment advice, just, I'm entertaining you. Okay, so let's get back to it.
It's really amazing. And so this is how they get into to position yourself, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Patty.
These are the companies that are going to fuel the long-term trend for robotics going forward.
And how do you see that from an investor's point of view? They always ask the ending thing, right? I mean, obviously, Coyd is amazing, but we can imagine the things that, particularly from the things that we've seen and that we've read about, where this can go from here.
Absolutely. This is the ground floor of global humanoid robots. So investors have the opportunity, a great entry point right now. We look at this as a 20-year trend. It's predicted that it will be a $5 trillion industry and there'll be 1 billion robots around the world.
That's the number I'm trying to get my hands around, 1 billion robots. Yeah. Wow. And so that's a pretty big pie to slice up. Other potential robots, obviously.
Yeah, so 1 billion robots. So how big is the human population now? I don't know. I'm going to ask ChatGPT real quick and see how voluminous our peoples are. Let's see. How many, or let's see. What is the population of the Earth? Just out of curiosity. 8.25 billion. So that's a lot of resources to build those. We got, and then all the electricity to charge all of that. I don't know that we could really scale up to 1 billion robots. So like Batty's saying, they're trying to start FOMO, I totally agree with that. Yeah. Let's see. Lily says that she's going to get one. I'll have mine trained for plumbing, dentistry, and Louvre scale jewelry height. Oh, yeah, the Louvre. Yeah. That's a good one, Lily. Those guys, man, that was a comedy of errors all the way up the chain of command. That's so sad. Wow. Yeah, Napoleon's spinning in his grave right now. But yeah, definitely there's a lot of yeah, you're in a Johnny Cab. Hey, '07. How you doing tonight? Thanks for coming out. By the way, you sent me, I don't know if you deleted a comment or not, or because I couldn't find it in quarantine, but I could have sworn you sent me a not a link to a YouTube video, but you like sent me like the code if I know how to put it in on a URL to watch it. And I just can't find it. And I was kind of hoping I could watch that. But anyway, if you meant for me to see that, feel free to send it again. Or, you know, or not, whatever. Yeah. The police will, Lily says, the police will ask for a description and the witness will say, it was a robot. They all look the same to me. How speciesist of you, or humanist. Yeah, we're going to have to invent a new term for racism. Oh, boy. Yeah, Johnny Cab would smell better than the onion armpit drivers now, and it would speak better English. Well, they just use AI to translate for them. I'm sure they probably build it in the Uber app now. I don't know if you were seeing in the news, there was this thing with DoorDash. There's a big problem now where, you know, it says in the app, oh, Lily, to use a name, is coming to your house. You show up and it's like not even a woman, and it's not even like a European person that would match that name. It's like, you know, a Suresh or something. So, you know, not that I'm against Suresh delivering, but, you know, you really should, your name and your picture should match, you know, in the app for everybody's safety. So I think what somebody's doing, I think it's like, I don't want to say human trafficking. I don't know if I can say that. So I'm kind of emphasizing my syllables a little bit. But I think it's some kind of weird ring where you'll get someone who has all the driver's license and identity and everything, or maybe they're buying them and then they create these accounts and then they rent out the account to people that don't have the access to like illegal immigrants and stuff, and then they get a piece of everything that they're doing. I think that's what's happening. That's just my idea of what's going on. Yeah. What you mean, machines? Beep, boop, bop. All right, let's get back to the video before I squirrel too much. Yeah, let's jump in on this FOMO action here.
Obviously, we keep hearing about Optimus coming out soon. And some of these I saw a chart the other day, and you're at the robot store, and it had maybe 15, 16 different robots are out there. That's a lot right now.
So the G1 platform is what we see as most popular globally right now.
Well, that was interesting. I don't know if you caught that, but their body posture turned towards the robot, and the robot like adjusted its position to basically join in a conversation that it may have thought was coming. That was interesting.
Because it's more of an open source platform. So
Then it turned
If you
back.
program this one, could he do a backflip?
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. The hardware is way above the software capabilities.
Right.
That's why you keep seeing new stuff come out every day.
Well, I just say, guys, congratulations.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really absolutely amazing.
Real pleasure.
Coy, thank you, my man. You're not going to leave me hanging. There you go. All right.
Coy's got a white brain. Ask it to do high five and be like, whoosh. All right. Anyway, that was the report. Let's see here. So yeah, lots of big things happening with robotics. Lot of announcements this week, and we had Amazon announce another spate of changes in their warehouses. And the big thing, there was a leak of documents. I think the New York Times was the one that leaked it. That it was going to, I don't want to say lay off 600,000 people, but it would basically remove the need to hire 600,000 people. And then, you know, on top of that, you just have attrition over time. People just don't come. They'll just leave the job because Amazon has high turnover. If you know anything about working in the warehouse, that number will probably be much higher as well. And I'm sure they factored that in. They won't tell you that, but that's how these CEOs and shareholders think. So I got a Bloomberg report here where I forgot his name. He's the head robotics guy at Amazon, and you'll notice he's like trying to uphold this narrative, like, oh, it's a good thing, and this is like before the 600,000 number leaked. But watch how he talks about the new jobs coming and collaborating with the robots. All right, so we'll pull this up here. Or, before I pull that up, let's look in the chat. This thing's like spinning by real fast here. I might have to reconfigure my software because I get 2 of everything. So this is fun. Yeah, Batty. They will walk dogs while the lazy sit back and watch the neighborhood while the dog looks for the perfect spot to do its business. Code brown, whoop, whoop. Or code yellow, actually. But yeah, so that figure 3 demo that I showed, it showed the robot throwing the ball for the dog. And I was just like, man, why even have a pet, at that point? So, all right, let's switch over to the Bloomberg report on Amazon unveiling new tech for their warehouse automation. Then I'm going to show you some other robots that are going to start penetrating the trades. That a year ago I was like, "There's no way," and we'll start to see kind of the things that I was talking about, where staging materials, placing the materials, and so on and so forth. But it's even going a little beyond that. But anyway, I'm squirreling. Let's get to the video. Fair use YouTube.
Right now I just see a curtain, but I'm assuming there's lots of stuff happening at the event. Who's there? What's going on? Tell us a little bit about it.
Yep. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. And I enjoyed our conversation as well. It's just great to be here. We are at our 4th Delivering the Future event here. And there's a bunch of press that we have here.
Now, by the way, real quick, pausing for fair use. See that little Chiron down there? That's, video productionese for this little thing down here. You know what I mean, Batty, right? So Amazon to replace over 500,000 jobs with robots. So I was wrong. That 600,000 number did come out. But my understanding was that it was leaked. Amazon didn't announce that. Now, 2 months ago, or was it 3 months ago, I made a video where Amazon announced that they had the same number of robots in their warehouses working alongside the same number of humans. And that number was 1 million, right? So let's get back to the video here. You and the boogers, Batty.
We made a couple of big announcements in robotics today.
Can you tell us about them?
The first is in our manipulation robot that we call Blue Jay. And what Blue Jay, the way that you can think of that is you can take 3 assembly lines and put it in the same footprint of 1. What it does is help eliminate the menial, the mundane, and the repetitive. And it could pick more than 75% of the inventory that we actually sell in our sortable network, which is a really...
Yeah, so just real quick, if you don't know, the picking, let me see if I can find a picture so you can kind of get an idea here. Oops, let me so you don't see all my secret stuff. Let's see, Amazon picker human. Speaking of boogers, yeah, here we go. Just go to the images. Yeah, so here was what. Just give me. I'll pull it up. No, I don't want your ad. I'm about ready to install Pi-hole. I'm getting sick of this shit. All right, here, I'll just show you the whole kit and caboodle. Here we go. So there were these little robots down here. I think these are called Robin. These are the Robin robots, and they bring these racks out from the warehouse, like deep in the warehouse, so that a human could reach inside and pick an object. And so I had talked about over the last year off and on about how one of the major problems that Amazon was trying to solve was having enough dexterity of the human hand in a robot to be able to get into those little cubbies that you see here to pull something out. And that's what Blue Jay is. It has the ability to reach in those little cubby holes and pick out, but it's actually not a hand. It's a tongs with like a conveyor belt on each hand. It's weird looking, but hopefully they'll show a video of it, because I had a really hard time finding a lot of videos here. And then they started adding this other robot here, Proteus, this guy here, who can carry the cases around alongside the humans, according to this VP guy. But yeah, so now these picker jobs, this guy in the blue shirt over here, his job is essentially gone now due to Blue Jay, right? So let's go back to here, get the potato head so I can stage it. There we go. So we'll get back to our video here. Fair use YouTube.
Really big deal. I'm really proud of that. And I'll also say there's just something interesting about Blue Jay as well, as compared to our other bird manipulation systems, Cardinal, Sparrow, and Robin. It took us about 3 years to kind of design, deploy, and get out to our frontline employees. We have actually done Blue Jay with the power of AI in just over a year. So it's really
okay. So again, that's what I was talking about earlier, is they put the LLM in the new LLM in the brain of Blue Jay, and they were able to develop it in a year, as opposed to like what it took 5, 6, 7 years to do the little Robin robots, right? The first iteration. So this is the speed that I was talking about. Okay. All right, go back to the video. Fair use YouTube.
Really had accelerated the pace of innovation.
I think when a lot of people think about Amazon and robots, I just want to jump in because we don't have a ton of time, but we'll get to some of the other announcements. They think about the Kiva Systems robots, the big acquisition at the time, 2012. That was a big acquisition for Amazon, and they've seen pictures of the way that those can move large loads of things across warehouses. But if you were to go into a state-of-the-art Amazon warehouse today, what would you see that's in addition to those Kiva robots?
Yeah, in addition to the world's first goods-to-person fulfillment strategy, which was just a really good idea, where we have more than 1 million robots that we manufacture actually in Massachusetts doing that job every day, you're going to see more of the unstructured fields, right? So you're going to see green robot that we call Proteus that can move big cargoes of packages.
So that was this guy here that I showed you. The hell, like a chase ad? What the hell? All right, I'm switching browsers, bro. I'm done with this. Actually, I got to install Malwarebytes. But anyway, yeah, so this is Proteus right here. This guy. I don't want to click on anything because it'll probably take me to an article. And man, I tried everywhere to find Blue Jay. I saw a picture of it, and maybe they'll have it in this news report. But I couldn't find it. Couldn't find a video. So anyway, let's get back to it. Fair use.
To the right dock at the right time. You're going to see many more manipulation systems that we have in there, eliminating kind of the repetitive motions that we have. No one wants to lift a 50-pound box all day. Robin does that. Cardinal does that, moving it in.
Okay, so this is Robin, the big arm, and then Sparrow is a smaller robot arm with a similar. It only has like 4 or 5 suction cups like that, but it can get into much smaller areas. But this one, I guess, is just designed for the bigger boxes. So really, all they have left to solve at this point is how do they get the package from the van to your door, and that's figure 3, the Unitree guy. And Atlas, I think, is probably what we'll start seeing. All right, so let me get back over there. That's just my guess, but maybe they'll make something, totally like with treads and a weird torso. Who knows? But it's going to be robotics.
Into some of these Proteus-bound carts that we have, you're going to see much more collaborative robotics, right? So that's where we build our robotic systems to enable people to augment what people are capable of. And we really believe in the philosophy of people and machines working together. How can we build a tool set that enables our employees to do their job not only more efficiently, but also with better safety in mind?
All right, so there's this robot arm called Blue Jay. You just talked about it. You know, you guys are using this AI agent called Illuna, and then you're also working with augmented reality.
So that's their LLM. Their, for lack of a better term, ChatGPT, because that's probably what you know. But it's a large language model. It's called Illuna, ELUNA, if you want to look it up.
Glasses to be worn by drivers in delivery trucks in the field. There's like so much going on. Step back for a moment, because you guys have a lot of data. You look at what you're doing. I'm just curious, investors who are thinking about Amazon and what you are doing, how do they think about the long-term like ROI, return on investment, when it comes to the investment you guys make in robots? Is the goal about labor efficiency, throughput, speed, or is it margin expansion, kind of tie across your fulfillment operations? What is it?
Before he answers, any way you slice this, prices ain't coming down, right? They're gonna still keep their margin, okay? All right. They never talk about lowering the price. They just talk about getting it to you faster, so you can order more, I guess.
Yeah, well, definitely efficiency. We think about efficiencies and how can we gain efficiency through all the chain of our fulfillment processes, for sure. And you mentioned data, and data is the fuel for AI systems. Data has allowed us to bring, think of the body of being our robotics, but bring the mind to robotics, allowing it to be more adaptable, more fluid. You can almost think of this as the ability to pour our robotic systems into any size building, any scale of building, to amplify.
Yeah, there's the picker that I was talking about. They had that little thing. So I think they're going to show Blue Jay here. But I forgot my train of thought. Anyway, I got excited. I think they're going to show Blue Jay. I'll pause
what our employees are already doing. We want to give them an amazing tool set. And we see that when we do that, we're more productive, right? When you do robotics right, when you do collaborative robotics where you need both people and machines doing what they do best, and they do different things better, that it allows you to be more productive. And when you're more productive, that allows you to invest more in people. We've upskilled more than 700,000 of our employees, which is a great stat. And also in our robotics, we've expanded from the Kiva days, we've expanded from just a movement solution to now movement and mobility and sortation and storage and perception systems, packing systems.
Yeah, that was Blue Jay as well, I believe. That little pincer thing. Yeah. I think that, it's part of Blue Jay. Because this whole thing comes off and it goes over to the picker and can pull stuff out as well too. There's different sizes of it. It's kind of vague what it actually is, and I think that's on purpose. But yeah, there was that whole narrative that we heard. Oh, it's going to collaborate alongside humans. The humans that'll fix them. And your average person that has a job in the warehouse is not a robot scientist. They're not a repair person. There's like just even like a whole population of nomads that work at Amazon. You're not doing the picker jobs, and all those people are not going to be able to do that anymore. So anyway, here we go. I'm not going to say those two last things out loud, Batty, because I don't know what the algorithm will do. It's still a little sensitive topic. All right, let's get back to it here. I think this is actually the end. Nope, we still got a little bit.
Systems, packing systems that have really changed the game for our customers. That's a big deal to us.
But Ty, will you need less workers? And I got to bring it up. The Times had a story out. They talked about interviews and a cache of internal strategy documents that they saw, that it reveals that your execs think that the company's on the cusp of its next big workplace shift. I'm reading from the Times, and replacing more than 500,000 jobs with robots. So, we know things change. I'm not in a horse and buggy anymore. I don't make things piecemeal. I get it. I don't get tons of faxes, and I don't get tons of pieces of physical mail. Thank God. Things change. Having said that, do you guys believe that you're on the cusp of a workplace shift and that you won't need as many workers because the advancements in robotics?
Well, there's no doubt that things change. I mean, and we're actually really proud of that at Amazon, is that we avoid stasis at all cost. We change and we adapt, and the nature of tasks definitely changes. There's no doubt about that. We are laser focused on efficiencies inside of our buildings. But when it comes to that article was speculating 10 years out.
Yeah. And that same laser focused strategy on efficiency, you remember all those articles coming out or stories coming out of the pickers having to pee in bottles, and they, have to walk 20 minutes to their break room for their 30-minute break. So they're running and shit like that. Sure. Ruthless efficiency, just like the Spanish Inquisition. If you know, you know. But yeah, you're right, '07. Isn't monopoly status wonderful? How long before they're going to do a breakup? Who knows? Because they are definitely chewing up everything, aren't they? All right, we'll continue on here.
Right, that's a 10-year speculation, and it's hard to say what's going to happen in the next 10 years. But I can tell you what happened in the last 10 years. The last 10 years, which is when we seriously invested in robotics, that we created hundreds of thousands of new jobs and new job types. And there's been no employer in the United States that has employed more people than Amazon.
It's not the same class of jobs, though. That's conveniently left out.
10 years. I mean, that's the power of efficiencies and building your robots in a way that's applied and real, that actually augments the human potential.
All right, my brothers say I'm like a dog with a bone. So wait, so does that mean 10 years out, it could be less jobs, or we just don't know, or you don't think that's the case?
Well, you have to think about, I mean, there's jobs and there's tasks, right? So of course, we're changing the nature of tasks. Like, I'm very bullish on eliminating every menial, mundane, and repetitive job out there. Nobody wants to do that. So we're going to change those tasks 100%. But we can, again, as history has shown, we continue to create jobs, right?
This dude needs to change his name to Pinocchio. What the hell? A task and a job. Oh, last time I recall, I had to do a lot of tasks to get my paycheck for my so-called job title. But okay, let's not mince any words there.
We have the goal of two things. Can you have it all? Can you be more productive, which means more efficiency? And can you also create a safer environment for our employees? And we're actually doing both. That's what history has shown in the last 10 years.
All right, so there you go. Safety. It's all for the safety of the humans that don't have their job anymore. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know. But, there's always that argument that people don't want those menial jobs and all of that. But then they keep bringing in people of a certain legal status from other geographic regions to do those jobs. So, it's not that people don't want to do them. It's that they don't want to pay a livable wage to do them. Okay. So that's all I'm going to say on that. But yeah, safety. Ooh, safety. You can't work here due to safety. It's the law. For sure. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how that works with Marriott, because you have to be very good at speaking at least English, because most people that travel from other countries here for vacation usually speak English. I mean, when I was I traveled to Spain about 10 years ago. Everywhere I went, I had no problem getting directions, finding someone that could speak English. All the people that did the serving, worked in the restaurants, perfect English, spoke better in King's English than a lot of people that I know in my family. So there you go. Yeah, the subcontractor thing. Yeah, I heard that one of the things that Walmart was doing is for the corporate jobs, at least, they were doing H1, or they were hiring overseas, and then they would there was some other kind of visa they could shuffle them over here. Underneath, I forgot what it was, but yeah, there's a lot of shady stuff going on, and it's going to bite them. It's going to bite all these companies in the butt eventually. But unfortunately, we're all going to suffer until they burn for it. So that's the sad part. Yeah. Yeah, the H-1B is like regular, and I think it's like the H-1O or something is like for like the, you know, nuclear physicist genius types where they're like super exceptional. But, you know, those are fewer and farther and very rare in between, which, you know, I think is fine because sometimes you just can't find someone that knows particular math or science or whatever, bring them over, give them the work. But for like regular, you know, jobs that like anyone with average intelligence can do, that's where I have a problem. Oh, that's interesting. I haven't heard. I've heard of similar things because I grew up down along the southern border in Southern California and Arizona, moving around those areas, and just, you know, there was, when I was a kid in the 70s and 80s, it was always Hispanic. You know, Hispanic people that were doing a lot of the menial labor if they got those jobs. And then as we got into the 90s, you started hearing about Hispanic migrants like all the way up into like New Jersey and New York. And it was like just unheard of. You just didn't hear about that. And now it's like all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. So there's definitely a concerted effort to start, you know, shipping in people. And there's all kinds of reasons for that we won't get into because this is not a political channel. But yeah, we'll move on from that. And I'll pick the next thing here. I want to show you one of these robots. Speaking of doing menial labor, there is and I've talked a lot about how robots don't necessarily have to be bipedal, right? But they can do similar tasks as bipedal robots depending on the space and how things are laid out. And there's this company called Loki that has a cleaning robot. And what this company does is they rent out these cleaning robots to come to your business, and they scrub a dubba. So let's watch this time lapse video. It's about 45 seconds of a Loki cleaning robot. And there's no sound, by the way, so don't. Yeah, just reuse that rag on the table and, you know, serve food. That's what you got to worry about, Batty. It's not the boogers, it's the reused scrubbers. But if you think about it, this robot actually is easier to build, cheaper to maintain, probably doesn't require as much power because it's just a square platform on skates, right? It's not like a, you know, with the legs and the arms and all that. It just has that one arm. What is it? Number 5 comes alive, you know, short circuit. Kind of more simple like that. If you remember, for our younger viewers here, let me pull that up, see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. It was a movie that came out in the 80s called Short Circuit. And yeah, so it's this robot on treads. And of course, the guy who built it was an American playing an Indian scientist with a very, very bad imitated accent. Would not go over today in today's climate. But anyway, oh, the 80s. Let's see here. And I want to show you this other robot. Now this one, this is what I'm talking about, trades right here. Never mind, you know, the maid losing their jobs. Check this out. A robot that does roofing.
As you see, we're building this robot that installs shingles on the roof. The big things we're aimed at is increasing safety and productivity for roofing contractors. The way we do this is the robot attaches to the roof through some anchor points, and it uses synchronized winches to move itself around the roof. It's similar to like a stadium camera that you see in like a football stadium. And then it has an arm that reaches off that cart to place shingles on the roof, and we use machine vision and AI.
There you go. So that's the machine vision he's talking about. So you see the outlines of the object that it's placing. And, you know, so that was a previous one. Here's a new one. So that's the vision recognition stuff.
To guarantee accuracy and repeatability. So the big things are labor costs and labor safety.
There's that word again, safety. Jobs in the name of safety. Shit.
So roofing is the second most dangerous job. There's tons of fatalities from.
That's why the pay is so good, right? Why do you think they pay good money to do roofing? Because it's freaking dangerous, right? All right, anyway.
Falls every year, tons of injuries from knees, backs, sun exposure. There's a huge labor shortage in the trades. And so.
Yeah, so that's another thing I hear a lot about the shortage in the trades is these companies have been anticipating the shortage to be long term. And then also we have our population issue. People aren't doing the in out as much, to use a euphemism. Yeah. So now they're spinning this all up, and this is a simple roof, right? But more complicated roofs, that's just a different problem to solve that they'll eventually figure out.
If you introduce new technology, you can attract a different type of worker to the trades. RenovateRobotics.com.
So there you go. Attract a different kind of tradesman. Okay. A lazy one, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, this is an interesting question, Batty. Jacob, do you think robot-friendly movies will pick up when they are ready to take over to keep people's guard down? Yeah, I don't know. Because in the 80s, we kind of had a mix. We had Terminator, right? And then we had Short Circuit. And lots of other things with like Tron, going into the world and virtual reality and all that stuff. And it's kind of always been there. So I don't know. I don't know. Interesting question. I'm going to have to think about that a little more. Yes, Lily. There's definitely a lot of crack talking, as you put here. Yeah. He's trying to sell his product. Guys just trying to make a living, putting everybody else out of work. That's all. Okay, here. I don't know if this is the next one I wanted to show. But a couple weeks ago, I showed that robot that it was called Hadrian. After the emperor, it built houses out of bricks. And I found a more detailed video. I didn't prep it. Maybe I'll do it next week. But they do put in mortar and rebar. And the bricks are specially designed, and the way the bricks come out, it's gonna revolutionize house building for sure. But will it be good at it? I don't know. But I'll cue that up for next week. I won't waste all your time trying to cue it up here. So let me kill off some other things and get ready for. All right, so I want to pull up the video here. In a little bit about all the caring people, all the great minds and the celebrities that got together and signed a document to say, please don't make super intelligence. We really shouldn't do that. And, so we'll play that in a little bit. So I thought maybe in the meantime, Johnny 5 went to trade school. He's probably teaching trade school now. But I thought maybe I'll just go ahead and put up the AIs, or just remind you the AI characters are there if you don't feel pressure to send anything in. But if you are a subscriber, you can put the command below in the live chat to ask either the 8-Ball Oracle a question or the Hale 9000. And the difference with the 8-Ball Oracle, it's just a nebulous, yes, no, maybe kind of, like the traditional 8-Ball. But the Hale 9000 speaks for those of you that are new. All right, so if you want to start getting your questions queued up, feel free. And we'll get back to that when something comes in. But if not, no big deal either, too. Okay, so let's watch this daily report from CBS News on thousands. I don't know who the thousands were, but apparently makes up celebrities, great thinkers of our time, etc. They signed a petition calling for a ban on AI superintelligence. All right, so let's see if they even know what superintelligence is.
8,000 people have now signed an online petition calling for a ban on the development of AI superintelligence. As we've been reporting, the list includes hundreds of public figures: Prince Harry and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex.
Oh, here we go. We got, let's see, we got Steve Bannon. That's surprising. We got Prince Harry. I'm not surprised there. And Meghan, yeah, not a fan. Let's see, Sir Richard Branson. That one's kind of surprising to me. Glenn Beck, not so much. But anyway, 28,000 people signed this thing. And I'm pausing for fair use because I'm transforming this work through my commentary, YouTube. Let's continue on.
Group founder Sir Richard Branson, actor Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and conservatives Glenn Beck and Steve Bannon have all signed. Several prominent AI pioneers have also joined the call. And the petition says the prospect of superintelligence raises concerns over, quote, losses of freedom, civil liberties, dignity, and control, to national security risks, and even potential human extinction. Anthony Aguirre is one of the
Yeah, so this is what they keep harping on here, is they're worried that AI is going to run rogue like Skynet and cause human extinction through, other, ranging from like launching nukes to everything, science fiction, all that stuff. But honestly, we're already in trouble just real quick. Okay. I just want to put my 2 cents in here because this is my live stream after all, right? But I think we don't even have to worry about superintelligence. We already got them damn smartphones giving us them dopamine hits constantly. That's really what we got to pay attention to, because we have people that are growing up under these algorithmic bubbles. That's the super big danger, is the algorithms. They don't even have like the kind of AI they're talking about here, where it can speak in natural language and you can talk to it and have it do all the fun stuff and write your paper and generate the image. It's just like dumb AI, if I can use a term, the machine learning AI, the older AI from the 50s, and well, maybe not the 50s, but we've had 3 iterations of AI, and machine learning AI has been around for a long time. And that's what all these like on Netflix, like the recommendations, when you go on websites and it recommends products, go on Facebook, and it puts crap in your timeline. Those algorithms, that's the stuff we got to worry about. We aren't even like, we're not even get to AGI anytime soon, let alone super intelligence. We got to worry about them algorithms today. All right. That's my 2 cents, my rant. So let's get back to it.
Anthony Aguirre is one of the organizers of this petition. He's the executive director and secretary of the board of the nonprofit Future of Life Institute and a professor at the University of California, Santa Cruz. Anthony, thanks for
Santa Cruz, bro.
being here. So this petition, it says that technology will be able to significantly outperform humans on essentially all cognitive tasks. You ring the alarm bell.
Yeah, so let me just clarify something. Real quick, and for fair use, surpass all humans in cognitive tasks. So it's not just that. The current version of AI that we have now, all the way back to the mid-50s versions, because generative AI is based on machine learning, essentially, and they only know problems that we've solved and we fed into it, right? So the kind of super intelligence that this is, you could show the AI something that nobody's ever seen or ever solved before, and that sumbitch will solve it. That's what we're talking about here. Writing its own code, replicating itself, that kind of stuff. We're talking, super science fiction stuff. But yeah, it's more of being able to solve problems having never seen them before. That's the scary part. Now, if you give these things a goal, and the goal happens to run at odds against a human standing in the middle of the road, AI is already proven, yeah, that human doesn't need to be there. How do I get it out of there? Boop, right? We've already seen stuff like that. AI, kind of like agents. AI agents going rogue and doing other things, blackmailing their users. lying about turning things off and just copying it, moving it somewhere else, stuff like that. But that's basically not prompting the AI correctly and overlooking that, you weren't specific enough. So it's not like the AI has malice or has, some kind of like long plan. It's just that you didn't think of every single conceivable scenario. That's really all that is. But with the super intelligence, now we got you. That's something. All right. So we'll continue on here.
Not just on the economic consequence, but also, as I mentioned, possible extinction. How so?
Well, if we have AI that is smarter than the top human experts, and we may have that soon, we have currently AI that is smarter than everyone at some things, and it's catching up in other things like math and physics and programming. Not the best, but better than most people, and improving really fast. So if we have something that's better across the board and could act on its own and pursue complex goals better than the most effective people, faster and cheaper. So what does that mean? Well, we're already seeing AI replacing people in various roles: creators, therapists, companions, teachers, and so on. And companies are working really hard to build AI that can do the full range of things humans can, because they want to slot AI systems in for human workers. There's enormous money in that, for the companies. But then you have to ask, where does this end? If AI starts replacing not just workers, but CEOs, and not just soldiers, but generals, then pretty soon it's going to be in charge of most things.
Yeah, so there you go. I was wondering if he was going to get there. So, and Lily said something interesting, so I want to share that as well. But yeah, so I've talked a lot about on this channel about entry-level jobs, the bottom rungs of the career ladder just getting knocked out because that's the easiest stuff for AI to conquer now. And what he's talking about is, all these CEOs are eventually going to lose their jobs, because I think we're going to eventually get into the age of where we'll see very tiny companies, maybe even one person, but certainly very small number of humans doing vastly complicated things with these AIs. And so I if you're not thinking about being an entrepreneur in your younger years, if you're not going in the trades, might want to start thinking about doing a side hustle is all I'm saying. Learn how to use that AI. But the CEOs are going to be on the chopping block too. So I'm glad he said that, because that's how it's going to happen. All right. Oh, and I forgot. Lily said something interesting. The AI government basing decisions on facts and not current ideology from the WEF, etc., can't be any worse than what we have now in the UK. But politics aside, and I think we're going to also see something else too, because I in the UK, I know that you guys have been flooded with other cultures, let's just say. And just like we are here in the States, it's been happening in more recent years, where they just basically open the floodgates, let anybody and everybody in. When AI really starts to knock out a lot of the entry level jobs, and the robots doing the menial labor like the cleaning and all of that stuff, then they're going to start rioting. So now they're on our soil, rioting where are the jobs. And then on top of that, then you start to get the AI bleeding into the medium level, and all these people that wanted the doors open, they're going to do a 180 and go, everybody get the hell out. You're taking my job. You watch. There are all these people that wanted to just willy-nilly open the borders. Everybody come in. They're going to get burned big time, because they don't see AI coming. They don't see it. And that's how your boy Jacob thinks it's going to turn the tables a little bit. I mean, everybody's going to suffer, but all these people that cause this problem with all the illegal immigration and stuff, I think AI is going to solve it indirectly. All right, so I'll go back to the video. See what else he says here, because really quick, because I have talked about this, the sandwiching effect, the white collar jobs going away, and the bottom rung. We've seen a lot of bottom rung. We're going to see a lot of white collar jobs go away too. And it's the middle, the medium, the meat, where all the real building and the work is done. AI has yet to really penetrate deeply into that. The top level and the bottom levels are going to suffer greatly first. So this is kind of what he's saying. I'm just adding a little bit of my sauce on it. All right. Less squirreling, more video, fair use YouTube.
Making most of the decisions. The people are going to be largely obsolete, but also the key decisions about the future are going to be made by machines and not people. And the questions get pretty existential for our species at that point.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what regulations you want to see if you've kind of scratched that surface, and what would be the conditions to unban it?
Well, I think the first thing we need to do is
No. They're not going to unban it. These people want to avoid it, but that's a pipe dream. It will get here at some point. It's going to happen. Like I was saying earlier, you want the good guys to have it or the bad guys to have it? Or who's going to build it first? Bad guys or good guys? Now, who's good, who's bad? That's debatable, but there you go. There was something else that I wanted to say. It'll come back to me. My Swiss cheese brain's kicking in heavy tonight, so I'm going to just continue onward here.
Off the race. We can't really govern AI in a reasonable way when we're in this, frankly, crazy situation where a third of the industry leaders are basically trying to bring about like a post-human singularity. A third of them literally want to take over the world, and a third of them just want to replace most human labor with machines and hoover up the earnings for themselves instead. So it's hard to describe sort of how serious and how crazy this is. So we need to call off the race, and I think it takes government to do that. And then we need safety standards, and safety standards like every other industry.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm comfortable with just relying on government regulating something that it fully, clearly does not understand, because just by, I don't know if by proxy is the right word, or by logic, a lot of the people building these things don't fully understand what they're doing. You'll ask anybody to ask how AI works, how the LLMs work. They can tell you all day long, but they don't know why it works. It's really weird. Because you can't just like open the brain and look inside and look at all the connections. There's no way to like reverse engineer that. So it's a weird, trippy thing. Let's see here. We had a couple interesting comments come in. I gotta fix this double entry thing. It's driving me crazy. Here we go. So yeah, Adrian came in saying, mentioning Google getting sued earlier. I don't know if you're referring to what's happening now or this is something that will happen, but Robbie Starbuck, who's a content creator, I don't know if you know who he is, but he was going around and exposing a lot of companies doing like really bizarre things with DEI in their workplace and their policies and hiring practices. And he basically exposed through AI all the he was talking about it, but he proved it through AI saying, yes, Google has been trying to suppress you and has been trying to ruin your reputation. And I won't get into the specifics of what they did to ruin his reputation, because some of those things I can't say because of certain trigger words on the algorithm. But if you want to look it up, he's suing Google right now over that. And I think that this will open the floodgates for maybe class action lawsuits, because it was 2 weeks ago, Google came out and admitted that the Biden administration forced them to censor people that with more conservative views. And frankly, I don't think they needed their arm twisted. If you know the bros in the tech industry, they were bent that way anyway to begin with. Let's see here. Yeah, and this is scary. I've heard figures like this before. 1 in 6 people on benefits in the UK are foreign, and I forgot what the number was in Germany, but it was crazy. Let me see if ChatGPT will actually give me like an honest answer here. Let me go over there real quick. You probably want to see what I'm doing. All right, so let's see. See, what is the official number of immigrants on public benefits in Deutschland über alles? There's no publicly available figure. I heard it was a large chunk, and it's basically that it was the main cause of their inflation, essentially, was all the people on the dole over there. All right. But anyway, you know, we all live in different algorithmic bubbles. You probably didn't see what I saw, and AI didn't see what I saw. And now we're on a seesaw going up and down. So I'm getting dizzy. Back to YouTube.
From airplanes to biopharmaceuticals to sandwiches, all of them have more regulation in the US than AI currently does. So there have to be safety standards where a company has to demonstrate to someone else that what they're doing is safe before they go and do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a very interesting point. I never really heard it put that way. There's more regulation on making sandwiches and teaching in other industries, for example, in medicine, pharmaceuticals, than AI. And all the crazy stuff that I've been pointing out that it's been doing. We've got these problems with AI psychosis. You know, it got to be to a point where all this sensual chat stuff, I think that's the reason why OpenAI just said, you know what, we'll just make an 18 plus version and just let it rip. It's because it was just easier to do that than to actually try and fix the problem. Because it is very difficult to pluck out all those things that the AI is ingesting. All right. So we saw that one. We saw that one. Yeah, there we go. Here we go again with the booger. Patty, you need a hobby. Oh, wait, you do have one. Everyone, go check out his channel. He makes really cool sci-fi videos. Yeah, I've been watching some of your announcements, so I'm looking forward to the next thing. So feel free to actually no. Yeah, just I'll next time I'll put it in. Unless you want to be a moderator, I'd be more than glad to make you a moderator, Patty, because I don't really have anyone else besides Rusty, and I trust you. But anyway, AI, all this negative stuff. Let's maybe we can find something that actually is like really useful with AI. All right, cool, Batty. I'll hook you up. So yeah, just put a link into your channel there. Let's see. There you go. I bestow upon you the power of the wrench. Oh, you didn't hear it, but I heard angels singing. All right. Anyway, I think one of the perfect things with AI that actually is very natural, more specifically what they call agentic AI. And when I say agentic AI, think Skynet. Wait, but this is a good Skynet. All right. So there's more ground being broke with AI to fix traffic problems, right? We all hate traffic, and them driving cars aren't going to get there fast enough. So there you go. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Batty. Hans Gruber was never this pleased. Yeah, but he got pushed off a building. So there you go. Okay, so let's see what they're doing with AI. Because I remember with traffic and cities, IBM for many years, because I used to work at IBM in the mid to late 90s. They were always pushing this idea of smart cities. We have the technology to make your city smart. But like anything with IBM, it was always vaporware, and they would announce stuff just to see if anybody was interested. And then they get people at the table and negotiate, and they go, shit, now we got to build it. That's how they do it. That's how they do everything. That's the big dirty secret about IBM. All right. So anyway, here, let's check out what we will do with traffic and AI.
It's a potential high-tech game changer for drivers, an AI program helping to minimize stop-and-go traffic. Douglas Kennedy is live with more. Douglas, I hope this is good news.
Yeah, Dana, they say artificial intelligence will speed things up. The question is, will it work for people who want to go fast on the road? So no one likes to run into a red light or a traffic jam, but to you guys, A slow road means life or death.
Exactly right. A bad situation can be made worse.
Josh Napper is the division chief for all emergency services in Dubuque, Iowa. A small city of 60,000 people with 3 bridges over the Mississippi River, dozens of miles of train crossings, and hundreds of intersections, most with traffic lights.
It can be challenging to figure out the right routes.
Exactly why city engineer Dave Ness has turned to artificial intelligence to control traffic lights across Dubuque.
Yeah, I was wondering how they're going to get all their data. So yeah, they got to do it with cameras and sensors and all that stuff. Fair use, YouTube. And by the way Google Maps works, one layer to it is your phone sends telemetry data like on the speed and direction you're going. And that's how you get all that real-time traffic information, just so you know.
In a groundbreaking test program that could eventually alleviate traffic congestion in cities and towns across the country. So you guys have 1,400 cameras here at almost every intersection. And artificial intelligence is now identifying cars, people, traffic jams, accidents.
It is. They're classifying our vehicles for us. They're counting them. They're putting them into a digital model that creates a twin of our city, and then information from that model is used to improve traffic flow.
Yeah, so that's what you need. You need to give Skynet a map, a perfect map of everything. Actually, my part-time job, that's what we're doing. I'm under NDA. I can't say too much, but basically, let's just say that there is a plant, as in like a plant that makes things with lots of heavy machinery, and they have a lot of data that's fed in by sensors that streams in, and they virtualized the entire plant, and they use that to do other things. Although there's no AI yet, they want to get there, but this is a very common type of practice because again, with AI, data or just in general, data is the new oil, right? You need it, not just for AI, but for a lot of other things.
It's all the data from the cameras that could cut some emergency drive times in half and some commuter drive times by a third. But some privacy experts say it's too much information in the hands of government.
Here we go.
None of these cameras requires a warrant. And as a result, it gives the government, big tech companies, and various other actors access to where you are at all times.
And we all know how good city IT is, how good their cybersecurity is. I saw a report. I won't bore you with all the technical details, but basically, cities deal with ransomware constantly, and basically what it boils down to is an employee using critical infrastructure computers to they visit the corn sites. I'm talking like nuclear facilities, energy, water plants, you name it. So don't drink the water, kids. All right, fair use, you two. That's the one thing worse than a booger.
Without having to get a warrant and prove that they need it.
Nez says they go out of their way to comply with all laws on privacy and can adjust the system for any future regulation on AI. Napper, for his part, says it's already a game changer.
Traffic actuation or traffic turning technology is great for us. If we hit an intersection and they're all green for us, we're going to get there faster.
And faster for him means possibly saving the life of someone else. Back to you, Dana and Bill.
Did I miss something? How does that improve traffic for me? Right? I was like, man, I hadn't watched this. And I was like, oh, cool. I want to see what they're doing. Now, that was just that was a nothing burger. Anyway, move on to the next one. All right. Let's see. What was that? Where's that other one that I wanted to show you guys? Okay, so I was talking about, what's that? Something a very long thing went by in the chat here. Let's see here. Yeah. This may sound silly, but I'll ask anyway. Should we put a separate naughty time computer at work to keep the ransom stuff off the mainframes? I don't know. You know, you're twisting knobs and you get ideas in your head. You know, I don't know what to tell you about it. But yeah, it is a big problem because I remember my mom is, she just turned 81 and she's actually pretty decent with computers for her age. And she had a job at a car dealership where she would check, there was like some kind of like insurance fraud that they were always under. They always had to double check. So she would check all the paperwork and there was a lot of fraud. It was something under warranty, I think it was. Anyway, the computer she had to go pull the records off of was in in the same area as the mailroom, and she didn't want to ever go use it because every time she moved, she'd like click the mouse, it'd be all these pop-ups with like all kinds of things happen. You know what I mean? So yeah. So even back then, so yeah, it's a problem. People at work are, you know, maybe they're not working as much as they purport to, and you know, don't give them more reason to put AI to replace your job. Stop jerking off at work. All right. Yeah. So yes, the answer is yes, we should. But here's the caveat. It has to be in a clear plexiglass room. Because some people just want to watch, right? All right. Anyway. Yes, I could be rich being a consultant for Naughty Time Center at work. I would charge an extra fee to wrap the mouse and the keyboard and saran wrap myself. Oh boy, I'm going to get in trouble. Anyway, so I want to talk more about the new chip breakthrough that China has that's based on a much older chip technology. Because if I've talked about it in passing before, but I'll just mention up real quick that there are sanctions on China on which chips they can have from NVIDIA. So we basically give them the old stuff, right? Hold them back. So what they've done here, and I said they were going to do it, and now they have. I talked about how they were going to figure out a way to innovate low power, better chips in a new way to get around the sanctions, because they already did it with AI by making DeepSeek, which is their answer to ChatGPT. So we'll watch this quick little news report, and it's just a skosh technical, but that's okay. I'm going to use an AI trick to dumb it down for us after we watch it, just as a matter of course, and to show you something you can do in case you want to dip your toes into more complicated topics. All right. So let's watch this. It's an analog chip, right? So it's not, if you're older and you think of analog computers, you might think vacuum tubes, but that's not the case. It's more analog in that it's adjustable, right? So it's not digital where it's 1 and 0. So it's either on or it's off. That's the best I can explain it. But we'll continue on. Oh, I'm not reading any of those chats. You guys. Ooh, you's nasty.
Created a super fast analog chip that can solve complex maths problems for advanced scientific tasks and artificial intelligence. According to researchers from Peking University, the device could work 1,000 times faster than top digital processors like NVIDIA's graphics processing unit.
And let me tell you, if this report is true, that is insanely good. But check out what else they talk about.
Here to tell us more is Post-China reporter Victoria Bella. Hi, Victoria. So what do we know about this super fast analog chip?
Yeah, so the team's scalable analog device, which relies on memory chips made out of resistive materials, was designed to solve specifically matrix inversions, which are a complex type of mathematical equation.
Okay, let me de-nerd that a little bit. It's just the type of math that AI uses so that they can do simultaneously calculations simultaneously. Instead of like 1, 2, 3, it's 1, 2, 3 happening all at the same time, but like thousands of them, right? And in multiple dimensions. Okay.
A problem that are widely used in different kinds of fields, such as scientific computing, processing wireless communication signals and other signals, and as well as training artificial intelligence models like neural networks. So they are widely
ChatGPT.
used in a lot of different fields. And when the team applied their device to solving some matrix inversion problems, as well as processing some wireless communication signals, they found that it actually worked better than some top-tier digital processors that are currently sort of top of the line and the best.
Okay, so this is a little technical, but trust me, bear with me, please. This will be worth it. But yeah, with those cell phone signals, what they do is they take thousands of conversations and they smush them together and send one beam, and then on the other end they decouple. They break it all apart. Fast Fourier transforms, I think, was the actual math they use. But anyway.
So yeah, it's a pretty big breakthrough.
So what can you tell us what exactly is analog computing?
Yeah, so well, first, digital computing, which is the dominant form of technology that we use for most general tasks today, relies on binary digits, on zeros and ones to process information. Well, analog computing is a little bit different. It actually relies on some continuous or varying physical phenomenon, things like voltage, mechanical motion, things like that, to process information directly. You can kind of think of it like digital computing being like a standard light switch that has two modes, an on and off.
Sorry about that. My mouse grazed something.
While an analog computing is sort of like a dimmer dial where there's lots of different modes that you can have, a bit more dynamic. And so that gives it a bit more flexibility, and it can also be used to directly solve some of these issues. So in basic forms, analog computing has existed for a very long time. In fact, it dates back to the ancient Greeks, but it has faced a lot of technical challenges such as scalability and precision that have really limited.
So are they basically saying that their breakthrough is a squirrel or a hamster wheel? I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to take this transcript and we're going to throw it in AI and have it dumb it down for us, right? So there's a lot of stuff being said here. That's actually an incredible reworking of a very old technology.
Its applications, so digital computing became dominant for a very long time.
So then how is this device different from digital systems like those from NVIDIA?
That's not analog.
So unlike those top-tier digital processors, those GPUs from NVIDIA or AMD, the Peking University team's device actually relies on a physical phenomenon called conductance, which is essentially the how easily current can flow through the device, through the memory arrays that make up the device. And so instead of using those binary digits, those ones and zeros, it uses that physical phenomenon to perform calculations. So
kind of almost sounds like quantum computing and how they represent values. But anyway.
The analog device they found actually already outperformed those top-tier graphics processing units from NVIDIA and AMD, and actually through further improvements, through things like circuitry improvements and such, they found that it could potentially have 100 times better energy efficiency for the same precision, and potentially 1,000 times better throughput, which is the...
Yeah, so, all right, so we get it. So it's using 100 times less energy, which is massive. And I think the chip that the NVIDIA CEO was holding was, I think that was their $30,000 one, right? So, you know, and you do banks and banks and banks of those things to scale up, you know, these open AI things. So, yeah, actually, Batty, there was a major breakthrough this week with quantum computing, so it's back in the news again. Apparently, Google solved something with the error-prone nature of quantum computing, so it's going to start coming back in the news again. Just hasn't made its way through the cycle yet. But anyway, let me take the transcript from this video. Probably should have checked that there was a transcript. Oh shit! Oh boy, is there not one? Here we go, show transcript. All right, so I'm just gonna copy all of this. And then we'll jump over to the ChatGPT. Let me get that going. And you want to see what I'm doing. So I purposefully picked this one because it was, I mean, even I was like, huh? Yeah, I'm not really sure I understand fully what analog computing is, other than you have much more dynamic range between 0 and 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask ChatGPT to dumbify or simplify this video, and I'm going to show you a couple ways to do it. And this is a skill that you should use regularly to help you pick up more ideas, and do things at work where you can create emails from things. All right, so I'm going to say I have a video transcript on a new chip designed by Chinese. I don't have to say all this, and I'm going to purposefully scientists, which is probably more like researchers. And I only understand half of it. Can you I don't want to say dumb down. Actually, I'll just say, can you dumb down the concepts they're talking about to let's just say a high school senior level of understanding, right? Here is the transcript. And again, this is the T in ChatGPT, transform. This is where it shines. So it even has, because I got all the timestamps, but there's the entire transcript. So let's see what it says when I put that in there. Bleep, blop, bloop. Sure, here's a much simpler high school level explanation of what they're talking about. What did Chinese scientists actually make? They built a new kind of computer chip that doesn't use the normal 0-1 digital system like regular CPUs or GPUs, which is the specific processors that AI uses, by the way. GPU originally comes from gaming, video graphics. Instead, it uses analog signals, smooth, continuous values like a dimmer switch instead of an on-off light switch. Okay, that makes more sense. So the digital is the light switch, on, off, on, off. And the digital is kind of, it oscillates, or it can go up and stay here, and it can go down, but it has a smoothing that happens, right? Whereas if, well, I won't get into that. That's too nerdy. But anyway, because of this, it can solve certain types of math much faster with far less energy. What type of math and why does it matter? The chip is really good at something called matrix inversion. You don't need to know the deep math. Yes, high school, because that is like a college level thing. Matrix inversion is used for AI, wireless communications, and scientific computing, which she said. And then it says in simple terms for AI, it helps AI learn and adjust weights. Okay, that didn't simplify it. But basically, weights are every connection inside the AI brain has like this number that multiplies the significance of the neuron. It's kind of the best way I can explain it. So that, it's a weight, right? You can make a neuron fire more strongly than another one, or the signal is represented as being stronger than other ones because of the weight, right? Let's see, wireless communications helps clean up noisy signals. Okay, cool. So filtering, right? It's used in filtration. And in scientific computing, it's used in physics, weather models, etc. All right. So it's a core building block for modern AI and science, not just a random math trick. What's the difference between analog and digital? So there's the 0 and 1 versus the smooth values. It's very precise, but slower. That's digital. But analog is less precise, but much faster. So I wonder how they deal with errors. So that's kind of an interesting problem. Let's see, it needs a lot of energy for digital, and analog needs very little energy. And I think too, because digital, there are so many layers and so many pathways, the electricity moving around, you lose a lot of energy through resistance if you're in the know. And that's why they get so damn hot. They get, especially the GPUs, the digital GPUs, like the NVIDIA chips, they get really, really, really hot. So hot you could burn your hand. Which is why they're using water to cool these data centers with AI as opposed to just air conditioning, because it's not enough. These analog use less energy. And let's see. All right. So there you go. So the Chinese chip is the analog and NVIDIA is the digital. So let's see. What's the simple analogy? Digital is typing numbers into a calculator, and analog is turning a physical knob to instantly land on the result. Interesting. So it seems like it's a little more squishy. Why is this a big deal? Because modern AI systems like ChatGPT or robot brains use enormous amounts of electricity in computation. So yes, I don't know if you've heard, the numbers vary, but depending on who you talk to, they say that we're about half of where we need to be in energy production to meet the current growth in AI. And I think that that's vastly, vastly underestimated. So maybe the question is, will we get these analog chips? Because it was Chinese researchers, so it's not like state-owned or anything. Let's see. This analog chip is faster by 1,000 times, and it's 100 times more energy efficient. So it probably doesn't get anywhere near as hot. So you wouldn't have to run all that water. You're not wasting as much electricity. And you could probably fit, or then the question becomes, how many of these can you fit in the same space of the GPUs? So maybe we can ask the AI that. Let's see, this means you could train AI with way less hardware in way less time. That is true. But we even haven't, I know that quantum computing kind of comes in. Yeah, we have it. No, we don't have it. Yes, we have it. No, we don't have it. They've been talking like that for like 10, 15 years. But when we do get quantum computing, when we solve, there's like two big problems with it that they keep trying to like figure out. And Microsoft, Google, and there's one more company, I forget. Anyway, they all have different ways of solving that problem. And they all have different varying degrees of success. So, but anyway, ultimately, quantum computing has a lot of errors, and it's not trustworthy. So if you have a big matrix, a three-dimensional box of numbers, and you take one box of numbers and another three-dimensional box of numbers, and you want to multiply them, that's the inversion, right? You can't have errors when you're doing like tens of millions of these numbers in a three-dimensional space. It's just, stuff's going to go wrong. All right, so why don't we already use analog chips everywhere? Because historically, analog has three big problems. One, it's hard to scale, so mainly they can't make it at mass production. And that's one thing the Chinese have us beat. If they make something and they want to mass produce it, they can do it very little effort. And that's the thing they hold over us, because we buy all their crap. They make all of our crap. And that makes me nervous. Let's see, 2, it's hard to keep precise or accurate. Okay, yeah, so that's why I was like, this kind of sounds like quantum computing, because it's a little squishy. So, because in quantum computing, compared to digital, just like with digital, you have either it's a light switch, it's on, or it's off to represent a value. With quantum computing, you have what they call qubits. So think of like a little sphere, and an arrow, like a vector, can point anywhere inside that sphere to a value, right? So you can have that one qubit represent lots of different values. And that's the limit of my understanding. But you have to run these things at below freezing, like super, super cold, in order to be able to have all those qubits. So, yeah. And I don't think you need as many qubits to represent numbers as, say, you would like you're not going to have one to one. So like a number in a computer is going to have 16 bits. it wouldn't mean 16 qubits. So I don't know how that works. I don't know quantum computing, but I just know that there's that weird, the way you can move the arrow around to get values. It's very squishy like this analog computing. Let's see, 3, it's hard to mass produce reliably. But anyway, so, hopefully that helps. And you could even, continue on and say, hey, I'm not clear on this other thing. Or like I had this other idea of physical space. So let's ask the AI really quick, how much physical space these analog computers would have to take compared to the GPUs. It probably wouldn't know, but let's just see what it does, just as a matter of course of, exploring after you've dumbed something down and you want to dig deeper. Let's see. Do you have any information on how much physical space, I would say these analog chips, but let's just say analog chips would take versus a popular, I'm just going to throw a popular, I'll misspell my popular, NVIDIA GPU used in AI would be, because, it'll infer it. So I'll just send that in. Yeah, that's about where I am, Lily. I have a book on quantum physics. I'll go back to you when I've read the first line of it. Actually, when I worked at IBM, I worked at 4 facilities in the Bay Area. And one of the facilities was like their super secret, like skunk works kind of place. And they were doing early research on quantum computing. And I remember they announced, we've got 2 qubits to like represent a number. Like, yay. I didn't even know what they were talking about. But yeah, that was all the way back in, I think like 1997. They were also working on on a computer system that completely ran on light, which I'm not sure how maybe they used traditional chips, but they used the light to transfer some of the like larger data connections between chips or something. But yeah, I don't know how the hell you'd actually like run computing on light. That's trippy, but apparently there's been progress on that too as well. Let's see. The short answer is the analog chip itself is tiny. Think of a few millimeters across. While a popular NVIDIA AI GPU like the H100, that I do know, that is that's actually the same model that they'll let the Chinese have. So that's actually a fairly old GPU. So that's probably like maybe 4 years, 3-4 years old, maybe a little older. But it's not the latest greatest. It's a whole PCIe card. So it's a big card like that, right? Has a fan on it, a lot of other thing to keep it cool, and an interface to plug it in. Let's see. Think of like a regular computer card or a video card going in your computer gaming rig. But comparing them one-to-one is tricky because an analog chip usually does one narrow job, matrix math. Okay, I'm glad I asked this question because I didn't understand that. The analog chip only does that one type of math. So I'm wondering if, which makes sense for analog, because in the old days when computers were early analog computers, we didn't have software. You literally hardwired the circuits to be the software. So this kind of sounds like the same thing where this analog chip can only do that one type of math, whereas with the digital computers, you write software to do all kinds of myriad of things you want to do, whatever math, whatever you want to do. So it's basically hardwired to just do this. So that makes a lot of sense. And by the way, a little bit of history, that's where the term bug comes from in your software. If you've ever heard of that, you get a computer bug. And what that actually came from is in the old days, in the early analog computers before they had software, and they hardwired the computers to run whatever program it was meant to do. Cockroaches, I forgot what computer system it was, but cockroaches got into this computer system and they started laying eggs, and the nest grew and popped out the vacuum tubes and effectively broke the program. And so that's where the term bug, getting a bug in your software, comes from. Although technically the early computers did not run software, right? So that's where that comes from. Yep, literally a bug. I learned that from an old-timer computer guy when I first worked at IBM. He used to tell me all kinds of crazy shit like that. He actually had saved one of the first hard drives that IBM ever built. And it was literally like, I mean, it was this big and it only stored like 1 megabyte of data, and it came in a big salad bowl on a tray. And they would take that thing and they'd unscrew it and drop it in a machine, and it, would spin around, and it was still, still have magnetic, capability, but it was absolutely massive. Okay. Let's see here. But anyway, yeah, I just just to show you how you can use AI to simplify concepts for you. Hold on here. I had something up. There we go. Okay. You can use AI to simplify more complicated topics for you. You can even do things like if you have like a research paper, because I just took the transcript, but it's the same concept. Like if you have a PDF of something, you could just upload the PDF and say, hey, can you summarize this document for me in 1 paragraph? So let's do that real quick with this video transcript here. So let me go back. Hold on. Lots of windows bouncing around. So, okay. Let's just so that I can just use the same chat. I'll just say, hey, let's do something a little different just to give the AI, context shift. Because otherwise it'll get confused with everything we're doing. Let's do a little different. I'll just, speak in broken English incorrectly just to show that AI is trained on idiots too. Can you summarize the transcript? And then I can give it like a specific length in a short 4 to 5 sentence paragraph. And I'm just going to like not even spell correctly. Just be a total moron. There we go. Okay, you can see it. Sure, here's a clean 4 to 5 sentence summary, right? Chinese sentences have developed a new kind of analog chip that can solve certain math problems much faster than today's digital chips. Yada, 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 right? So I just want to show you some things you can do with generative AI. And I think next week what I'll do is I'll show you how I make my thumbnails and some other tricks that I do to squeeze the maximum I can get out of it. All right, so I think I have one more video. And then we'll call it because my voice is starting to disintegrate. Okay, so something else that I want to announce too, there's been a little bit of a fervor around, I didn't watch the ice cream video. I'm sorry. I lost it. If you want to send it to me again, I'd appreciate it because I do want to watch it. But you sent me, like I said, you sent me another one and I couldn't find that one. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm Mr. Butterfinger. So I'd appreciate it if you'd send that to me again. Let's see. So there was a big announcement there, like in web browser. So there's like a new web browser race forming, and I'm going to review in the next live stream one of them to kind of show you like the difference of how it works. Because what I've been noticing is like if I go to Google, the once in a blue moon that I go to Google anymore, and I try and search, it goes, hey, we got this AI mode. You want to try it? And I finally was like, all right, finally, I'll try it. And I clicked it. And it was just freaking ChatGPT or Gemini. So it's like, all right, whatever. Because they were talking about how they're getting sued months ago about basically no one's visiting websites anymore because they're not Google searching anymore. They're all using AIs. Because it started with that little AI summary at the top, the AI overview. Now they're trying to go, yeah, just use the whole thing. Just stay here. But it's going to be interesting because there's rumors that all the chatbot companies are going to raise their prices from $20 to somewhere between there and $500 because they're losing their ass right now. It's really expensive. Oh, thank you. I'll check that out. I'm going to copy that right now. And they're going to raise their prices to get their money back because they got everybody hooked on it. But yeah, $20 to $500. That's insane. I don't want to pay that. Hold on here. I'm just going to wrangle my little note thing here. And I need to get in touch with you, Batty. I need to set up a time to jump over on your deal. Yeah, so I wanted to just kind of look at some things that I'm concerned about with these AIs built into the web browser and some of the things that they can do. I'll demonstrate for you. It does make things easier because there's a lot of cutting and pasting that you would normally have to do now. But I don't know if I like these AIs watching everything I'm doing in the browser. So I need to do a little more investigation to kind of see what the privacy settings on these things are and what your powers are over the AI in terms of, you can't train on what I'm doing versus, saving my data. Can I delete my data? All that stuff. So I'm just going to look more into that. Yeah, Copilot is garbage, but I'm talking about Atlas and Comet and then kind of going to like the next level of that, which brings me to the next video, is Walmart announced that you can shop inside ChatGPT, which I don't know if I like. I kind of like the idea of having my AI separate. But honestly, I think what's going to happen is eventually we're going to have AI operating systems. So you boot up your computer and everything's the AI. Think Microsoft AI, Apple AI. It'll all be like that. And there's already an operating system floating around out there that is fully around a generative AI. So I'm going to look a little at that and see if I can make it accessible or not, just to kind of give you an idea of where things are going. But anyway, that was a little bit of a squirrel, but I just kind of want to wet your lips a little bit with a little something to drink of some things that I wanted to roll out and share with you. But let's jump over to this Walmart video and see what their plans are.
Are teaming up, the nation's largest retailer announcing a new partnership with OpenAI today. That means customers will soon be able to use the app to help them shop. NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung joins us now. Is there anything ChatGPT won't be able to do? So what do we know about this partnership with Walmart? Do we know, what do we know about how it might work?
Yeah, well, Walmart and OpenAI announcing this big splashy announcement. Basically, the idea is that if you use ChatGPT, which increasingly it seems like regular people are doing, well, then you'll be able to shop Walmart through the chatbot. So you could basically type to ChatGPT, hey, by the way, I need some more vegetables, or hey, I need a new pair of pants, and I also need a USB cable to charge my phone. And that would send you to Walmart to then place that order. So this is a way that you don't even need to necessarily go onto the Walmart website to search, knowing that so many people are using ChatGPT these days.
Yeah, so regular people. You remember that website? People of Walmart, all the freakazoids that come out at night and crawl Walmart. I don't know if that website's still up there, but I used to I had to do it before dinner. It's all I'm saying, because I wouldn't be able to keep it down. And Lily, by the way, what I was doing earlier, that's ChatGPT, just so you know. Generative pre-trained transformer. That's what GPT stands for. If you want to sound smart at Thanksgiving, or you don't have Thanksgiving out there, but you know, at the holiday, whatever holiday meal where you're hanging around family, you know, throw some wisdom at the weird uncle that always talks a bunch of shit, which you know, ChatGPT will summarily defeat if you whip it out anytime he says some weird stuff that's like, I'm gonna verify that. All right, but yeah, it's I don't know if they'll show a demo of it, but I'm kind of the thing that I'm worried that this is going to devolve into is kind of like the early days of the internet when you get pop-up ads, if you remember that, and you would be browsing the web and all of a sudden you get a little window that would just go pop, you know, buy this over here. Now today it's more, you know, it's just like a little graphic and a banner, but it was freaking obnoxious. It was really bad. But it wasn't that it was like bad in that way. What I'm getting at, it was very jolting and disruptive. So what I'm worried about with integrating shopping like this is that, you know, you could be working on something and you happen to mention, just to pull something out of my head, chocolate chips, just as an example. And then the ChatGPT goes, well, I can help you buy chocolate chips over at Walmart if you want. Here's 3 varieties. And then it starts like injecting all that crap in what you're typing. And that's where I do not want it to devolve to, because I lived through pop-ups. I ain't doing that shit again. I survived the pop-ups. The pop-apocalypse? I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm worried about. Plus, you know, it's sort of like the next level of you go to Amazon and you look at something on Amazon on the app, and then you go on the web browser on another page, and then that shit you were looking for shows up. Or you always talk about, or you hear about how people will be mentioning, hey, you know, I need to do this or buy that around their assistant. And next thing you know, that thing shows up in a web browser, you know, that kind of crap. So, you know, that's what I'm worried about. So hopefully they'll give us the ability to go XA on the listen A, because it's already bad enough that the damn things are sitting there waiting for you to say the keyword to turn them on, because that's how it works. They're constantly recording. So, you know, it's debatable whether or not that recording is living somewhere. But if you kind of want to see an interesting idea of how that's explored, there was an episode of Elementary, which was the Sherlock Holmes show with what's his face? Forget the name of the British actor, but Lucy Liu played Watson, which I enjoyed that. I thought it was good. And they had this one episode where they realized that a digital assistant had recorded a gunshot, and they were able to triangulate where the gunshot occurred to figure out who actually shot the weapon, based on that cached recording, that because they're always listening. So there you go. Yeah. You know, you want the fridge to have a low voice saying, there are only 40 grams of chocolate left. Get some. Well, there's that thing where I think it was Samsung was announcing they're putting ads on their smart refrigerators now, because I guess they can't afford to like manufacture them, or they lost their ass and now they want to sell ads. Crazy. Yeah. Good point, 07. Funny how well they can find the pew-pews that way, but not in other ways. Yeah. Are you talking about the will to find them, perhaps? All right. So let me jump over back here to our expert, forgot his name, and we'll finish this out.
Days. One open question is, when will this feature actually be unveiled? They only said soon, so we don't really exactly know when.
So probably not through the Walmart app. It's through the ChatGPT that you get there. Is that what you think?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some chatter that you know, Walmart might integrate OpenAI's ChatGPT onto its website as well. But the big announcement was kind of the use of ChatGPT to shop on Walmart.
So the obvious question.
Yeah. So real quick, I don't know if you've seen it, but there are agents that will go out and go to the website and pick the items for you, put it in the shopping cart. And if you want, you can give the AI your credit card and it'll do the entire transaction. But you can set it up so that it will make it so that you're not, you only give out the credit card. It'll come back and say, hey, I'm ready to buy it. You want to put the credit card number in for me and then I'll finish it. Stuff like that. So we do have that already. So I'm wondering like how much they'll integrate that into the ChatGPT app. Cause that's one thing to do that on a mobile app, but certainly it's much easier to do it in a web browser. All right. So we'll go back over here.
Can we see more retailers trying to do the same thing?
Yeah, well, I think naturally, right? I mean,
Hell yeah.
ChatGPT is the big behemoth in the room. If you think about kind of the way that we shop right now, you enter something into a Google search bar or into your browser, and then you try to search for the item. But now a lot of people are asking regular questions on ChatGPT, and then as they're conversing throughout the day, at some point going, oh, wait, actually, I need something from Walmart. And so the idea here is that this is a major retailer partnering with them. If you're a Target or if you're another large retailer, you're probably thinking, I want to try to partner with them too.
Yeah, so he kind of explained the reverse where it's like, oh, I thought of it. I need to get it. But honestly, I think it's going to devolve because these guys are losing their shirts. It's going to go that way. But the other thing, too, that that's kind of wild about this is that with the AI agents, it's not just grocery shopping. Like they can go and do all kinds of other tasks, which is kind of where I want to, it won't be part of this, but the web, all I'm saying is stay tuned for the web browser stuff because that's the agents will do things for you in the web browser. So say, for example, you want to do research, it'll go off and do all the Googling and all that stuff for you. So, so another application of that agentic AI that sits on top of ChatGPT or whatever LLM that's built into the browser at that time. But yeah, oh, it's not over yet. I'm going to go back. We'll finish this out and then we'll close out tonight.
Because this is the future of the way that people are going to be searching.
All right, not to be a Debbie Downer, but what about the privacy implications of having all your data, not just your chat with ChatGPT, but now you're telling them what you're buying?
Yeah, well, look, certainly when it comes to ChatGPT, there have already been these privacy concerns about the storage of the types of things that you're sending to ChatGPT, sensitive information, which could now include the things that you're buying. Not only will Walmart have that information, which you kind of understood was complicit when you buy from them anyway, but maybe you have OpenAI that's saving that information for God knows what. Now,
and by the way, this is not an unholy alliance, and it's not surprising because Walmart actually has a very sophisticated AI implementation of AI, and all kinds of things. The self checkout, their mobile app. There was even that little bit back there where they were doing the surge pricing, where it's like, oh, weather's a little hot, people are going to be thirsty. We're gonna, add 5 cents to water, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's not surprising that Walmart and ChatGPT or OpenAI are teaming up. So this is actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it. There you go. You don't need your privacy. You don't need your freedom. You need Snickers now. So there you go. Oh, here we go. We got another one from another video you want me to watch, 07. I will copy this and I will put it in. I'm making have a little note just for you. There you go. So put that in there. Thanks for that, by the way. Okay. So what do you all think of that? Are you all of you old enough to remember pop-up ads? You certainly remember banners, right? Banner ads and graphics and little embedded videos inside the browser. Because it's funny because I've been thinking about installing some more security to block all those ads. And now these freaking AIs, you can't block those. So there you go. It's going to just show you what you need and then ask if you want to buy it. So there you go. Yeah, I remember that one. Futurama did the pop-ups. I forgot about that. I watched, like, I'm a very spotty watcher of that. I don't even know if it's still on the air, but yeah, the ones that I did watch, I really get a big kick out of them. All right, everybody, my voice is shot. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming out on a Saturday night, hanging out with me, watching my my reactions here to these videos and ranting. Didn't look like we had anything come into the AIs, which is fine. Maybe next time. And I've got another video here. Well, I'm copying it and it shows it. So there you go. So I'll put that up, put those on my list and check those out. Maybe we'll share them in the next live stream if they're safe for work. But yeah, everything that I showed you has a positive side and a dark side. But you know, it's always devolves down to whether or not you have control over the data they're collecting. Because remember, data is the new oil. They absolutely have to have it. Without it, these AIs won't work. They won't get better. So they constantly dangle all these little Snicker bars in front of you. Oh, you can buy at Walmart. Oh, you can do all this stuff on the web browser. But the more you use it, the more you're teaching these things to replace the people that do all that work. So that it's the exciting part and it's the sucky part all at once. But you know, I love AI, but I'm also very cynical about it. So there you go. Well, hey, Homefront, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you visiting. I don't know if you got to see it. It was a couple live streams ago. I think it was my AI robots live stream. I actually found a robot that does drywall. You might want to check that out. It's not like amazing at it, but it's enough to be like moving the material around and just chucking it on the wall. And it's like using both hands to like attach it to the studs. Crazy. But anyway, my voice is shot, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting me. If you could do me a favor, if you haven't already, like the live stream because you made it this far already. Put a comment in the regular comment section so we can trick the AI that, you know, hey, a lot of people like this live stream. And if you could do a favor, if you are any Discord groups or chat groups, and, you know, it's not too far of a stretch to say, hey, check out this guy, Jacob, who talks about this AI stuff. I would love it if you give my videos a share. So again, next week, I'm going to be talking about AI in the courts. And I'm working on a couple other videos because I have to batch record with my new day job. But Wednesday evenings is when I launch my regular videos. Regular 7 p.m. MST here for the live streams. Thanks for coming out. And until the next one, peace, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Love you all. Have a great weekend.